Why, hello, scholars and gentlemen, viewers of this channel who are undoubtedly, way smarter and better looking and hotter, and better in every conceivable way than the average person. And that's not me pandering to my audience, that's just me being honest, But anyway, so the topic is actually going to be kind of somber for today, and I wasn't going to talk about it because generally to tell a story really well you have to be really in on the details and maybe even have seen it, but I was thinking about it and mulling it over today, and I figured, I can probably garner some sort of positive ethical principle from this whole issue, and so I'm going to talk about it. That's what I decided. And So, there was a very minor school shooting at my high school when I was a freshman in high school. I say minor because the only bullet that was shot was from a police officer, and so the shooter himself never actually even shot his gun. But he did bring a full-sized, I guess, civilian legal assault rifle kind of thing. I'm not very familiar with guns, so forgive me. I think the most popular one's called the AR-15. I think it looks a lot like an M16 from the pictures I looked up online, but apparently it only shoots one round at a time, which I always thought you could change that pretty easily, but apparently not. Apparently it's okay to have a 30-round magazine in the hand of a civilian, just feeling like it, but no full auto, absolutely not. Which that's an issue for a whole nother day. I really don't want to get into gun stuff. But, so, basically, a little bit of backstory. I was a freshman in high school, and if you know anything about freshmen in high school, it's that they're phenomenally insecure, and that's not an insult, that's just the facts. I mean, most high school kids are still developing, and so you just are really kind of becoming the person that you're going to be as an adult. It's not your fault, it's just kind of an awkward time. And so I was a freshman, just entered up in the high school ranks, and I believe this was second semester, so I was kind of feeling a little bit more jive, and I'd gotten into a routine at the end of every school day that instead of going home right away, so getting picked up at like 3 or 3:15, I would sit around and talk to people and socialize till about 3:45 and then go home. And my school ended at 3, and because it was a private school, there were no buses, there was no way to get home aside from having a parent come pick you up, or you drive yourself, or a carpool or friend, or something along those lines. And this particular day, when all these events transpired, I just randomly decided, I'm just going to go to a friend's house right after school. I'm going to have a friend drive me home after school. That way, just get home, don't have to stay after school. For some reason that day, I just wanted to go home. I just was feeling homesick. There are those days. Everybody has those days, you just want to go home, have a snack, watch TV, just chill out. And I was just having one of those days, which was strange for me. Because, as a freshman in high school, I was more than obsessed, just myopically focused, like, gotta be cool! I gotta be cool! So, trying to stay in after, trying to mac on girls unsuccessfully, but you know how it is. So, that particular day, get in the car, leave, and get home, and by the time I get home, it was about 3:45 or 4. It took quite a while to get home because traffic on the just after school is ridiculous. It's never any fun. And by the time I got home, I had gotten a message from my brother, who had told me that there was a shooting at the school and that someone had brought a gun in. And there were no details at this time. I was just like, holy shit, I can't believe that I actually got out of there. But what he told me is that the gunman was outside, and he was apparently a junior or senior at my school. So he was old enough that I had no idea who he was. I had seen him in the hallways before, but it wasn't like I had spoken to him very often. But he was the one who had the gun, and apparently my brother and a bunch of his friends were in the library, and they could kind of see this from a vantage point. And so what they said they saw is that this kid who had the gun was out by the cars near our parking lot, and that he was aiming this rifle at his own head. And I don't really know how you can do that. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand how you could just aim it at yourself unless maybe you're holding it way down by your waist or something. But apparently that's what he was doing. And the police officers, there were 2 of them, were yelling at him to put it down and to get away, and then so they could go arrest him. And you guys know I'm pretty against cops, but this is one story where I'm 100% on the cop side, and I realized that it was important that they had to make the decisions that they did. And so eventually the shooter swung his gun towards the police officers, and it was never, people kind of debated whether or not he swung it towards them to shoot, or if he was just waving around because he was just so anxious and stressed out up there. But apparently he gestured towards them with the weapon, and one of the police officers didn't hesitate and shot him. And they shot him in the leg, which right there, I give police officers, that I just said, I give police officers a lot of shit, But really, being able to decide in a moment like that shooting someone in the leg is the lesser of two evils, and that it's really the best way for all those events to transpire, that would take a lot of guts. It would take a lot of machismo to look at someone and then be able to shoot them and have enough confidence in yourself that you're going to actually hit them in the leg and not accidentally mortally wound them. Because, I mean, you have to look at those situations in a way that's more understanding than most, because a lot of these kids who are violent in high school, and this is kind of the moral that I wanted to get to from this story, is these kids aren't just intrinsically messed up. They're not just sociopaths who just want to shoot just to watch the world burn and hurt people. I mean, this was really proven to me because at the time, the only experience I'd had with knowing anything about shootings in schools was reading about Columbine. And the way that those stories in Columbine are always portrayed is that these were two just severely psychologically traumatized kids who just didn't fit in well, were bullied, or often were the bullies, and eventually just completely broke down and committed a terrible travesty. But it kind of just taught me, because I was like, wow, this isn't just way off in Neverland that this stuff happens. It's not like these are isolated incidents and it's all just anecdotal stories. They're like, oh wow, yeah, that's kind of creepy. Thank goodness that stuff doesn't happen around here in the Midwest. Oh goodness. But it was really eye-opening, even though I wasn't even there. So it wasn't like it traumatized me or that it impacted me in any way whatsoever. So don't take that that I'm trying to make this about me in any way. It had nothing to do with me whatsoever. But it really made me think. And for a while, I kind of had this paranoid delusion in the back of my head where I would look at people, and anytime someone seemed to derivate from the norm and seem really weird, I'd be like, oh, I wonder if they're a school. I wonder if they would bring a gun to school and shoot people. And that's just, you know, that sounds really macabre, but those are the kind of thoughts that you have when an event like that happens so close to you, and you want to think about it. And what it made me realize when I started encountering people that were kind of socially weird like that, and probably not even being socially weird to the point of being worried, it was just me being paranoid. But I would realize that I would be nicer to those people. I would kind of go out of my way to be kind to them, just kind of like putting in my time, like, hey, if this guy ever did go crazy, I want to make sure that I'm on his good side. And then that thought really drove me to think, like, hey, maybe it's not that I should be pretending to be on the good side of these kids who I think are potentially crazy or something. Maybe I should just be genuinely nice to them. Maybe the reason that they're like this are because they're so ostracized and just sequestered off into their own little corner of the grade, their own little niche where they're not wanted by anyone. And it's sad. It's a sad realization. And so I kind of realized that these years where you're developing in high school and middle school, these are really essential years. And you can take a kid that's a 12-year-old, normal or mostly normal kid and put him through middle school and high school and have everybody make fun of him and have him a terrible time, no friends. And that kid that comes out on the other end is not going to be a psychologically healthy kid. And is it his fault 100%? No, of course not. I mean, the context of his situation and his upbringing has a great deal to do with that. And so really, what I kind of realized is that these people aren't born really... I mean, there are sociopaths and psychopaths, but for the most part, these people aren't born just wanting to hurt people and to get back at the world and just have a vendetta against everyone just because they feel so mistreated. It's really just a training mechanism. These people are socially awkward, and as a consequence of their social awkwardness, they're made fun of. And then when they're made fun of, they lose their confidence and they're no longer able to approach people in social situations, and so they're mocked even more. And it's just a really vicious cycle. And I could see that exact thing happening just to multiple kids in my high school. And so what I wanted to say to you guys is, if you see someone being made fun of like that, if you see someone kind of just getting picked on and like treating them like a piece of shit, like, you don't have to be someone's buddy best friend, because I know that's not the case. My adults used to say, oh, if you see someone getting picked on, go be their best friend, invite them to a birthday party or something. Like, that's not always possible. I understand that. Some of these kids are legitimately awkward and have a while to come before they're, you know, fully assimilated into... I don't want to say high school culture, because that denotes that high school actually has a culture that's worth emulating. But all this to say, just, you don't have to be a superhero. Just be nice to them. Just be friendly. There were kids in my high school that after I saw and thought about those events freshman year, I went out of my way to be nicer to them. If I saw they were sitting alone at lunch, maybe I wouldn't go sit with them for the whole lunch period, but I'd stop by while holding my tray and just talk to them for a minute and just see how they were doing, just to be a nice dude. And really, that's all it takes. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, look at me, look at how in-depth and insightful I am, to to look at this and then figure out a way to be nice to people. No. I mean, it's not like I did anything above or beyond the Call of Duty. It's just being nice to people, and I really do think that's a big problem with it. And then once these people are bullied to the point where they do retaliate and they're just so uncomfortable with their lives that they would almost rather die than go on, then we just brand them as sociopaths who are just, you know, evil from day one. When that's really not the case, and I don't think that's fair. But really, this wasn't so much about the story, but I wanted to kind of get a lesson across with it, and all that is you know, just be nicer to people on a daily basis, because even those people that we think are scumbags and slime and dirt, they most likely weren't born that way. They went through a series of events that shaped them into that person, and just like I myself, when I went through middle school, I was awkward because every middle schooler is awkward, and if I had been the most awkward guy instead of just being an awkward guy, and I had been singled out and picked on, chances are I'd be a lot more bitter at the world right now, and I'd be a completely different person than who I am now. But, yep, if you guys enjoyed this, please give me a rating, and if you disagree or something along those lines, feel free to comment and let me know, because I'd be happy to talk about it, as long as we are being civil. But that's all I got to say. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you later.